Now we cut out the airframe. This is a great time if you have a snap knife like this, or if you have is to get a nice, fresh, sharp blade. And the way you do it with these cheap ones is you just grab the edge. You can see there's a little bit, yeah, you can kind of see it there in the light. That little creases, and you just sort of snap it. You might want eye protection for this. Kids, watch it with them. And you just hold it in there and you twink, and it pops off, and that's a little bit of blade that we're disposing of. And we now have a nice fresh blade. And that's super useful because we don't want to tear the foam. And I'll try to show you what a terry cut looks like. But all right, so here we go. I'm gonna go cut, and I'm not gonna use a ruler. I just freehand it. I'll do one with a ruler and one freehand. All right, I'll do the first one with a ruler. For those that want to be super precise, which I almost never bother with. Be careful, these knives are sharp. Try to just firm pressure, not crazy pressure. Don't ruin a nice dining room table cutting on it. Cut other places. How do I know that? Well, because I've ruined some nice dining room tables cutting on it. Here's a cut with a ruler here. There we go. And this one I'm just going to do freehand just to show you as possible. So I just go and just watch it. It'll be a little wavy, but not very wavy. Okay, that. Let's cut right there. Okay. So as you can see, we had a little bit of extra. So we'll do some experiments with that in a second. So there you have the basics. I'm going to cut this bit off here, just get that tape free. Didn't need to cut the tape up here and up here because we actually have it, and we just got all nicely handled as well. All right, so now we have the basic shape. Reiterating, this dimension is 2 inches, this dimension is 21 inches, and this dimension is 21 inches. All right, and I'm now going to show you how to do the Elevons. And this is kind of a crucial bit. You really want to pay attention to what's going on here. So you have to pick which side of the airplane you want to have as the top and which side you want to have as the bottom. I made an effort to put all the writing on one side, and I tend to put that on the top because I like a nice clean bottom like that. It's just kind of nothing on it. If you ever decorate or want to do something, you will have less stuff to work with. It totally doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. So in honor of that, I'm going to mark one side as top. All right, and I'll put it right here, T-O-P. This is going to be important because you cut in a particular direction, and the Elevon hinge needs to respect what the top is. All right. So that's going to be the top now, we understand. And then the way the Elevon hinge works is I'll show you one I just built without any airplane involved, is that you can see that you want your control surface to be able to go up and to be able to go down. Going down is easy with a 90-degree cut, but going up, you have to bevel it, all right? And think for a second how we're going to do this, right? This could be kind of complicated and difficult, but it's actually going to be very, very easy. A little attention to details required, but it's a very simple cut. All right, so the way this works is we cut in a very smooth fashion with a sharp blade. All right, we really want a sharp blade. Let me show you what a dull cut looks like. See if I can make one up. They tend to look, I don't have a dull blade laying around. Anyway, we'll do the cut. So if they start looking ragged, then it's definitely too dull a blade. So actually, before we make the hinge for real, we're going to practice. All right. And one way you can practice is you can, this is a little skinny. I'm going to take a little bit of my sacrificial fifth one. I'm hoping this is not going to take, no, there's enough for 2 stabs left in there. That's fine. You might want to draw the stabs on there before you cut this extra. Just make sure you don't use up too much foam. So here was the one I was demonstrating the torn up thing with. And the way you do this cut is really simple. You're going to use a ruler, you're going to mark it, okay, like that, all right, and square it off so I get absolutely clear what's going on. Okay, so that's going to be our Elevon kind of hinge we're working on. Put a ruler on there, okay, and then we're going to take our knife and in a very smooth fashion, I'm going to cut it at an angle with using the rulers of God. You can't do this really without a ruler, or I don't do it without a ruler. And I cut it at an angle about 30 degrees. Okay. So the result of that cut is this is what I cut. Put it this way, and now we have a nice beveled looking situation. And all we do to make the hinge is flip this one over, and there we go. And we have something that will go both ways. So we just got to throw some tape on that, and we will be good to go. So take some tape, and I'm not super worried about this being perfect because it is just a demo. Make sure I understand what I'm doing, or encouraging you to understand what you're doing. So just take a little bit of tape here and hold them together tight. Put the tape on there, and there you have it. That is the hinge. Okay, so practice that a little bit. All right. There's enough room on this to make 2 stabs and then a bunch of extra. So draw the stabs on. That'll be later, and then just do that ahead of time, and just use the extra practice making some of these hinges because you kind of get one shot at this. I mean, you can fix it. It's not super crucial, but it's nice if it's straight and the Elevons are on there tight. Okay, and there's no tape on this side at all. This is just left as a single piece of tape. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to do it for real. So I've marked where my tape is. I know what top. I want to cut from the top. And what's going to happen is this top is going to get cut, and then we're going to flip this Elevon, and then that's how we're going to get that nice edge. So we are going to end up with some writing, but that's just how it rolls. Think about that more and get that more perfect. Well, more power to you, but I never bother. All right, so get this nice and tight. There is my, let's see if I can get this. Let's see me start. It's a little awkward. Here, let's do it this way. There we go. Nothing but the best cinematography for you folks. Okay, so that's an angle. I've got the line right there that I'm cutting on into. That's the line I want to use. And we're just going to go a nice, smooth, easy cut. There's an angle. You can see it. That's perpendicular right there. I open it about 30 degrees. Make sure I've got a sharp blade. Not a huge amount of force, just enough to get through the whole thing. Consistent angle the whole way. Making sure I'm still lined up here. And take it to the halfway point. All right. Then I'm going to keep going and finish it. Same story. Start where the cut was. I went a little longer, so I know where I am. Good. Keep going. Same angle. Whole way. And finish. And try to get all the way through on the first time. And I didn't quite do it. I got a little bit stuck right there. See, everything else looks pretty good. But don't be pulling on this right now, because this is where you'll end up pulling up a bunch of plastic like I showed you in the little bit of the previous video. So I didn't quite get through this tape here, you can see. So there's a couple of ways to deal with this. One is I just roll it over and just kind of go at it with the knife a little bit. A little plastic here too. You can see where that is stuck. You can just go and hit it with the knife very gently there. Just comes right out. There you go. Just get it right in that corner. Sorry. Just touch it and it'll come right out. So there we go. So we want so this is the top. We're going to flip this over. All right. So the bottom is what we're going to, and this is going to be the bottom of the Elevon. And the whole point here is we're going to now have this nice looking angle here so I can go up. All right. And down. So this was formerly the top. This is the bottom. And we will attach the tape again. So we're going to do the same trick we did before. Just have a bunch of little pieces of tape because it's easier to do than try to do it all at once. So I'll need about 3 pieces of tape to get this. And so I start typically at one end like this. Get that nice and lined up. Hold it tight. Put the tape in. Very good. Go to the middle. Notice there's a little problem here. There's a little bit of a gap. I don't care. I just want that to be in there tight. What I'm going to do here, since I made a mistake, it looks like it kind of wandered a little bit. That's embarrassing after having built 100 of these, but it's good I did it because you're going to probably face this problem too. So I went ahead and cut this because I wanted to free it up so I could get it in nice and snug. I want this to be minimal space here. I don't want there to be a lot of space. So I went and cut that and added this in here. And now it's a nice tight Elevon hinge line. There's a little bit of gap here. Don't care about that. This one goes right there. If you tape them over again, doesn't matter. You know, they're stuck together a little bit. We'll fix that later. And do this. And in we go with that. Okay. So that's pretty much a working Elevon hinge. And now I'm going to just do a big one, but you can do this in a bunch of little ones if you want. So I like to do it as one big, dramatic application. If I wrinkled it up, I don't care. There we go. So now we have the hinge. Up, down, up, down. Clean it up a little bit, or wrap it around, whatever you want to do. And that hinges in airplanes are actually kind of complicated to do well. It took us a long time to figure out how to do this one. This cleanly. Clean up this side. There we go. Now, if you're a beginner or you just like the look of it, what we suggest you do is you take, you double the nose from about 11 inches to forward, 11 inches forward. And that's because the nose takes a lot of damage. And it's just nice to have a little bit of extra. So you just mark it, 11 inches there, and 11 inches there. Oops, nope, I did that wrong. Embarrassing. All right, measure properly, Brick. That's 11 and a half. You know, we'll live with 11 and a half. That's fine. Like I said, it's approximate. So we'll just do 11 and a half on the other side. All right. Okay. And what we do at this point, I'm going to run out of tape. I've built this roll is you go and you start applying tape. And I recommend you go backwards to forwards. So at 11 inches, you're just going to put 11 and a half inches back there. Just go. And then you cut it. All right. And you just wrap the entire nose of the airplane this way. Okay. If you miss a little bit, it's no big deal. Broken air drum tape here. All right. Go. All right. Flip it over. This tape could have been put on before we cut it. That would have been nicer. And usually that's what I do. I just forgot. There we go. We give you enough tape to make 2 airframes. So this is running out just because this is roll tape that's been used a bunch. Other things. Oops, ran out. I have an infinite supply, roughly speaking. There we go. If you're an advanced flyer, you might not want to do this. But if you're a beginner, it's highly recommended. It makes the nose so tough. It just kind of takes crashes. It takes crashes fine anyway, but it just adds the extra level. All right, and so we'll just clean that up a little bit. It's going to be a little trickier. A nice clean cut along the edge. Might want to use a ruler. I'm not going to. I'll use a little bit of foam. It's not the end of the world. There we go. And look at this side. Same story. I'm going to show it to you this time. There we go. Yeah, that would be better to do before we cut this part here. So you see the whole instructions. Do the whole instructions before you build the airplane, which I recommend. You will know that. All right. So there we go. We're done. That's the basic airframe, and ready for attaching the deck to.